I think the Crunchwrap Supreme might just be Taco Bell's crowning achievement. I mean, it is tasty, it's easy to hold, easy to eat, and loaded with food and flavor. It's a little high in calories though, and surprisingly low in protein. So, we're gonna change all that. I'm gonna show you how to make one that has fewer calories and more than 3 times the protein. If you wanna find out how to make it, well, it's coming up right now on The Cog is Shred. Hey, how's it going everybody? My name is John and I've lost over 130 pounds through a combination of mindful eating and daily walking. And these days I'm just trying to keep the weight off and stay in shape. And I'm sharing some of the recipes that I like to make that have helped me to do that. So today I'm talking about Taco Bell. I love the Crunchwrap Supreme and I love meat. This version is meatier with over 1/4 pound of ground beef, and yet it's 140 calories fewer than a regular Crunchwrap at Taco Bell. So enough talking, it's time to make some Taco Bell. Let's get cooking. The first thing we're gonna do is make our own tostada. Now you can buy tostadas at the store, but if you want the lowest calories possible, I recommend making your own. These are the lowest calorie tortillas I could find. These are the Mission Street Taco tortillas. They're tiny and they're only about 33 calories each. So this is gonna get you a really low calorie and really crispy tostada if you make it this way in the air fryer. So start preheating your air fryer at 370 degrees Fahrenheit. And while that heats up, take your tortilla, get a little non-stick spray that's 0 calories, spray a little bit on one side, and I'm also gonna sprinkle a pinch of salt, flip it, same thing on the other side. A little bit of spray, and a little pinch of salt. There we go. Of course, the biggest challenge with putting a tortilla in an air fryer is the air itself. It's gonna blow it all over the place, making it very hard to keep it flat and smooth. So you're gonna want something to hold it down, and this is just what I had in the kitchen. Use whatever works for you. Just something that's not gonna be damaged by heat. I happen to have one of these dish drain strainers. It looks a little dirty. That's just some oil from when I cooked one just a little while ago. I promise this has not been used in the sink. But this right here, I just put on top of it in the air fryer, and then I have this little ceramic bowl. I put that on top of that as well, and that seems to hold it down pretty well. It's not perfect, but it works, and it's what I've got. I'm gonna take the air fryer basket, go ahead and put the tortilla in the center. Then I'm gonna put the metal piece on top of it and the ceramic bowl on top of that. And the only reason I'm adding that is because the weight of that metal strainer on its own is still pretty light and it'll still get blown around. So I'm gonna let this cook for 12 minutes in the air fryer, flipping it halfway. I know it seems like a lot, but it gets it nice and crunchy, because if it doesn't get crunchy, it's chewy. We want it crunchy. While the tostada cooks, let's go ahead and mix up our taco seasoning. I've got enough here for 1 Crunchwrap. You can always add more, but I tried to make this nice and simple. So I've got spices here, and I've got 1/4 teaspoon of each item. Nice and simple. So we've got 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of cumin.
Knock, knock, cumin.
Now the cayenne pepper, you can always adjust this depending on how much heat you want, but I've got 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper right there. If it's too hot for you, use a little bit less. 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. So just go ahead and stir this together with a spoon. And there's our taco seasoning. All right, I think it's about time to flip this tortilla. All right, now be very careful when handling this ceramic bowl. It's gonna be really hot. So I've got an oven mitt here just to make sure. All right, got that bowl. We'll go ahead and get this strainer out. Okay. This is looking pretty good. It's about halfway, but it's still got some crisping to do. It's gonna be totally brown when it's done. All right, let me go ahead and put that back on top of there. And once again, be very careful with the ceramic. It is hot. Don't burn yourself. I did that once. The first time I tried making this, I had a piece of metal on top of the tostada, which I picked up with the tongs and set down on the counter. But then, when I went to put it back in, I just grabbed it with my hands. Not even thinking. That didn't feel very good, so yeah, please be careful. I also went ahead and prepped my toppings in advance, so I've got 25 grams of diced tomato, 14 grams of chopped romaine, and 40 grams of fat-free shredded cheddar. Instead of sour cream, I've got 30 grams of non-fat Greek yogurt. This is gonna really cut down on the calories and add some protein. And if you want, add a little bit of Frank's Red Hot or whatever 0-calorie hot sauce you have. That way it'll be a little bit more spicy, a little more flavorful. Just add as much as you want. Really, it's your choice. Go ahead and stir this together and make our sauce. All right, and there's our spicy sour cream substitute. All right, this is almost done. I've got my skillets preheating on the stove on medium heat. And I just want to mention, I've also got 4.5 ounces of lean ground beef. That will be plenty of meat for one Crunchwrap, and it's going to add a lot more protein than you're going to get at Taco Bell. All right, this should be ready, so let's take a look and see how it turned out. Hopefully it is thoroughly crispy the way it should be. Yep, there we go. So it got a little bit of a wrinkle in it. It's not 100% flat, but that will still work pretty well. And if I have to crack it, so be it. Cooking is not always perfect. It's about the flavor. And in my case, it's about making do with the equipment I've got. And that's why I'm doing these videos. I want to show that this is stuff anybody can make and modify. I just want to help people to do stuff on their own and lose weight and maintain their weight and just enjoy food. And also show how simple it can be. And I'm pretty sure these skillets right now are just like Little Caesars, hot and ready. By the way, if you're wondering why I have 2 skillets here, well, one is going to be for cooking the taco meat. The other one has a press in it, and that is what I'm going to use to press and sear the Crunchwrap. Okay, so we're going to start off with this one here and make our beef. All right, so add your 4.5 ounces of ground beef. This is 93% lean ground beef. I'm using this meat chopper thing. I have no idea if this thing is that much more effective than just chopping it up with a spatula. Just thought I'd try it out. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to let it cook first and then chop it. I have no idea. I've never used one before, but I'm like, let me give this, I like new toys. I'm gonna try it out. We're gonna let this cook. We're not adding the seasonings just yet. You know, maybe the spatula would have worked better because I don't know how I would turn it with the chopper. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this over. I could chop it up with the spatula, but I bought the meat chopper. So I'm gonna chop it with the meat chopper. I don't think it's chopping it enough. The beef smells amazing though. All right, this is working. We're getting there. All right, there we go. The nice thing about using the 93% lean ground beef instead of 80-20 is it doesn't have all that grease that you have to drain. It's beautiful. All right, so now let's add a little bit of water and add our taco seasoning. Go ahead and stir this all together and make sure the meat gets thoroughly seasoned. Really make sure all the beef gets covered in the seasoning. There we go. All right, man, that is a lot of beef. Look at all that beef. This is gonna be a meaty Crunchwrap. We're just gonna let that simmer a little bit longer and then we're gonna take it off the stove and start assembling the Crunchwrap. All right, I think it's pretty good. Let's go ahead and take it off the heat. And I'm gonna transfer the other skillet onto this burner just for the camera. That's the only reason I'm moving it, is just because I have the camera set up here. All right, so grab one of these large La Banderita carb counter tortillas. These things are great because they are burrito-sized tortillas that are only 90 calories each. I love low-carb keto breads because they are so low in calories and higher in protein. So take one of these, put it on a plate, and start assembling. Assemble. So let's put a good amount of this cheese. I'm not gonna put all of it on here just yet because I wanna make sure to put some on the top before we close it. But I'm gonna put a good amount of it. Let's see. Maybe about 3/4. That looks pretty good right there. So now we've got our base layer of cheese. Now let's add that ground beef, and we have quite a bit. I wanna try to make this fit. I have made one of these once before, but I don't think I used quite this much, but I wanted to add a little extra protein. And we get all this meat in here, and it's still only 400 calories for the whole thing. I'm gonna try to make sure it's all centered and also not like super tall because I still wanna actually be able to wrap this thing shut. Now we'll add that Greek yogurt and hot sauce. I'll try to get that somewhat evenly spread throughout. And of course the crunchy part of the Crunchwrap, the tostada. Now since that got kind of warped there, I'm gonna crack it. Normally I don't like to do that, but I wanna make sure that this thing actually closes flatly. Just like the Lord of the Dance. Really obscure reference. All right, so I cracked the tostada. I didn't initially plan on doing that, but you know what? Sometimes these things happen and I want you to see it's all right. It's still gonna taste the same. So don't waste your food. Okay, we are almost done assembling. Let's go ahead and add our tomatoes and our lettuce. go ahead and top it off with the rest of this cheddar. There we go. Now that's what I call a taco.
Pizza? Now that's what I call a taco.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move this press out of the way. Okay, so let's go ahead and fold this thing very carefully. Just start on one side and just fold like so. You're just gonna do it. I think it's gonna be a hexagon when it's done. Just keep going. It literally just kind of almost folds itself. It's like as you go, it just organically wants to take the shape. And there we go. I'm holding this down because if I let go, it's just gonna fall apart. So I'm gonna hold this, pick it up, and we're gonna transfer it onto the skillet with the folded side down, and then I'm gonna put the press on top. All right, here we go. Carefully lay this in the skillet. Be very careful, don't burn yourself. And now, let's put the press on here. Get some sizzle going. I love that sizzle. All right, I think this is about ready to turn. Let me go ahead and flip it over. Whew, look at that. Baby, we got a stew going.
Take this home, throw it in a pot, add some broth, a potato. Baby, you got a stew going.
Or, well, we got a crunch wrap going. Sorry, I'm shoehorning in these stupid references. All right, let me take a look at the bottom. Oh yeah, that's done. Let's go ahead and put this on the plate. Oh man, look at that. Beautifully toasted, crunchy, crispy, loaded. Look at the size of this thing. It is huge. Oh man, I can't wait. All right, I'm gonna cut this thing in half so you can see how it looks in the center. All right, let's see how this thing turned out. There we go. Oh man, that is hot in there. Oh man, that is meaty. Got those toppings in there. All right, I am hungry. I am ready to eat, so let's give this thing a try. Oh man, a homemade Crunchwrap Supreme, only 400 calories, over 50 grams of protein. The smell, oh man, it smells like fast food, but in a good way. Like that combination of all those ingredients, it smells like what you would want in a Crunchwrap, but it is lower in calorie and way higher in protein. All right, I've got to try it. You know I got to try it. Here we go. Dude, holy cow. Oh, that is the stuff. So I made one of these once before, but I modified the recipe just a little before making this one, and I was hoping it would turn out good. Oh, it's even better than the first time. This is fantastic. Oh man, I love this. It definitely has a spicy kick, so if you don't want a lot of spice, don't add all that cayenne pepper, or don't add any. It's up to you. It's just like a perfect blend of all the ingredients, the tomato, the lettuce, the cheese, the beef. If I had one complaint, sorry I'm so close, but the tostada got a little bit soggy. I don't know how to avoid that. If you have any tips, please let me know. So with the floppy tostada, it may not exactly be a crunch wrap, but it's definitely a flavor wrap. The flavor is perfect. I will go over the macros in just a second, but I think I gotta finish the first half first. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so for comparison, a Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme is 540 calories. It has 73 grams of carbs, 21 grams of fat, and only 16 grams of protein. That's very little protein for something that's supposed to be full of beef. This version is 400 calories, so it's 140 calories less, not a tremendous difference, but still a difference. 40 grams of carbs, 11 grams of fat, and 53 grams of protein. That is a huge increase in protein over Taco Bell's. And still, a 400 calorie meal? I mean, come on, that's pretty dang low. And considering this is way meatier than Taco Bell's version, I would consider this a meal over a Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco Bell. You see, I say that I'm making these videos to help other people find the same weight loss success that I did, but really, it's kind of just an excuse for me to eat this stuff whenever I want. Can't complain. So yeah, I say go ahead and make one of your own and see for yourself. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to thecogisshred for more recipes and other videos related to my own weight loss and fitness journey. Thanks so much for watching and keep on eating. I might just have to make another. I'm kidding, I'm already full. This was plenty. See ya.